Welcome to Town Hall. Great to have you with us today. We're going to be talking about Nurse Inspire, and I'm looking forward to that. We have a great panel. And as you recall, we talked about the precursor Inspire previously, and I made the promise that we would come to Nursing Inspire as soon as we could, and here we are. But really, the big news for the week is it's spring. Like everything's got leaves. The ducks, there were goslings in the front pond not that long ago, and the ducks are out, and the little fountain is out in the pond. Anybody else have harbingers of spring they have noticed in their yard or their preambulations around school or the neighborhood?
I've been seeing a lot of sandhill cranes in my neighborhood, which is really cool. I've never seen them
Oh,
up
they
close
are
before.
amazing.
Yeah, they're stunning.
And they make a
Yeah.
great noise when flying over.
Oh,
That's
they
what caught my
do.
attention. I couldn't tell what it was. I was sitting in the lawn gardening with my mom, and we were looking up, and I see these gigantic, gorgeous birds, and I was like, "Wow!"
They sound like a dinosaur would, don't you think? I mean, they're like clearly, I've been around for 250 million years, and I guess I'm only probably 80 million years, but still a long, long time. Back to I mean, they are dinosaurs, of course, the surviving dinosaurs, and they sound like something out of a, you know, late Jurassic period. I hope nobody who actually knows their history is on and listening and correcting me, but still they do strike me as such an amazing archaic kind of sound, and they are gorgeous. Have you seen them dance?
No, I'd love to though.
They have a really cool mating dance.
I'll have to watch a YouTube video on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there are places around Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin where they will land and mate and sort of congregate. They're kind of amazing. Any
If you
other
go to
harp?
Elwood Farm off Waukegan Road, so go south on Waukegan Road from 176, it'll be a couple traffic lights down. It's called Elwood Farm, and there's a huge walking path back there. It's open lands, and that's one of their migrating sites,
Oh,
Ooh, that
nice.
sounds
their
right up my
nesting
alley.
sites. So it's fun.
They are amazing. They are amazing. I remember we were in a canoe and we were able to glide up to one maybe 15 feet away. My son was like 3, and my son is highly interested in physics, and he's in grad school and that now. And like, Kepler, look at the crane, look at the crane. And he's looking around. He's finally like, it's just a bird. He's hoping for a real crane. I shouldn't say that about him. He's much more biologically interested now, but they are amazing birds. They are spectacular. All right. Well, I'm going to get us started on the news. So, this week we had the Health Equity Breakfast, which went really, really well. My congratulations to everybody and the institutional advancement team, the health equity team, for putting that together. It was great to have funders and our program people together. So, my thanks to Melissa Chen for her presentation, and the ICC, Julie Creedon, for the college, the Children's Advisory um, uh, Center clinic, and all of our funders who were there. So it was a great experience, a great way to start the week. Also, this week I got to go to the opening salon for Synapses, which is the Journal of Art and uh, Humanities, and which was a lot of fun. And it's out. I linked to it in this week's update. It's as always, it's really fun to go through digitally, or if you can get your hands on a live copy, it's great. I was upstairs a couple times this week to the virtual health system, which our students will be using for simulation, actually starting in a month or so. Move-in is this week. So we were moving materials from Huntley over here this week. You can see all the boxes, but it was great to go through it and see some of the amazing spaces, the emergency department, the exit for the ambulance, the operating rooms, the procedure rooms, the hospital rooms, the ICU rooms, the clinic rooms. It's going to be a great teaching space and learning space. I've actually been involved in a lot of simulation centers and seen a lot of them, and this one is every bit as good or better than anything I've seen in the country. So it is an amazing space. And our people have just done a great job with design, but also in putting it together and thinking about how curriculum can work in there. Uh, More fun news, of course, graduation is in a couple of weeks. So The pre-events are May 28th, and then the ceremony itself is May 29th. I know that students are looking forward to it. I wandered through the cafeteria yesterday and saw some second-year PA students. They're finishing up their last stuff and then looking forward to graduation in a week or so. I know that many others are, including folks who graduating soon but getting to walk now. So anyway, if you can come, that's wonderful. I look forward to seeing everybody there. And then the town hall is going to be taking a little bit of a walkabout and won't be around for the next couple of weeks. So town hall will be visiting the Scholl rite of passage next week, and then there'll be graduation, and then it'll be floating down the Pine River. So it won't be available again until June 12th will be the next town hall. Those are my updates. I'm, excuse me, always happy to answer questions about anything. So feel free to put them into the Q&A. But I want to introduce our panel. So we have Dr. Mosilda Asanji. She is director in the College of Nursing Dean's Office. Dr. Lori Tinti, who is the director of the Scholl Family Foundation Empathy Lab. Alex Cornejo, who is an MSN entry student graduating in August of 26, which I presume means you get to walk in a couple of weeks, and is a Nursing Inspire mentor. And then Bella Tinsky, another MSN entry student graduating in August of 26, and a Nursing Inspire mentor. So we get to talk all about everything from how the program works to how it was put together to what the experience is like for mentors and students. And I think I'm turning it over to Mosilda now, who's got a little bit more information for us.
Yes, so thanks, Dr. Susan. I'm going to start by sharing the slides that we put together for this. Okay, so when I started about almost 4 years ago, Nursing Inspire was just getting off the ground. And that was one of the things that I was responsible for. And I got to find out that Nursing Inspire is built with, for, and by the community. And when Dr. Tinti gives us a little bit of the history about that, we'll understand why that is. But what is Nursing Inspire? Nursing Inspire is an 8 weeks, so 2 month work study paid program for rising seniors in high schools in the Lake County area. So it's designed specifically for students from the hardship areas, getting them interested in the CNA program, in nursing, but also in healthcare in general. So we recruit primarily from 5 high schools: Cristo Rey, San Martin, Round Lake, Highland Park, Waukegan, and North Chicago. And so these have been the schools we've worked with over the last couple of years. And what we've noticed is that most of the students that we have are females. We have a few males, and this year I think we have the most male students who are coming into the program. But before we go into the details about what all happens during Nursing Inspire, I'll ask Dr. Tinti to give us a little bit of the history of how this all came about.
Right, thank you. So when we were building the College of Nursing, we started building Inspire as well. And we did that in cooperation with IIT Institute for Design. Two of their grad students and one of their directors partnered with us. We went to the high schools where we were going to get nursing student or get CNA students from for Inspire students. And those students helped us design the program so that it fit their needs. And we found out, from them everything that they needed in order to be able to come. And we also had focus groups with their parents and with some stakeholders in the community, so that we could make sure it was really built for them. And through that, we found out things like they needed to be paid because they always have to work in the summer to make money. They wanted help with how to get to college and how to afford college. So we designed the program around those bits of information that the students really shared with us. And it was very helpful. And we've tweaked it a little bit every year, but it's really been impactful for them, as you will see from this.
When we have the students come to Nursing Inspire, the program is designed in two phases or two parts. The first part is the CNA training that takes place at College of Lake County. So every Monday through Wednesday, they spend those 3 days at College of Lake County in their CNA training. And then on Thursdays, they come to RFU for what we affectionately call Thursdays at RFU. So the CNA program is for those who are not already certified as nursing assistants. And we usually get some students who have already either taken the course or certified, and they come to just the Thursday portion of the program. They are paid a stipend. They have lunch with their mentors. And what you can see now is some of the things that they get to learn while they're here with us on Thursdays. So we had them introduce them to a variety of nursing careers, and with the help of the faculty that we have who are practicing, they come in and tell the students about what they do in their daily lives. So we have faculty who are teaching nurse anesthesia. We have faculty who are peds specialists. We have faculty from mental health, nephrology, and they come into the classrooms and discuss with the students and let them know what they do. Sometimes they go into the labs and they do some hands-on demonstrations about what they do. We also work with faculty from Lake Forest College who help with writing skills. And throughout the 2 months they are with us, they start working on the draft for their college application essay. We also have one faculty who does the study skills and helps them prepare for college, how to study in college and be successful. And then we have lifestyle choices. One of the things from the onset of the program is they wanted to be healthy. The parents wanted ways to stay healthy. And so the lifestyle health component is very important and central to the program. And Dr. Thuente teaches that now. And then we have another gentleman from Lake Forest College who teaches them financial literacy. He's been doing that for a very long time. And he makes the class really interesting. He brings little tools and things for them to practice, and they set a budget, it's spending and all those kinds of things. And so it really helps them. But then we also have one night where we have them come with a parent and they'll learn about how to finance college, because most of them want to go to college, but there's that barrier, which is usually money. And so we help them, bring in some professionals who work in financial aid to help them see what possibilities are out there to finance college. And at the end of
along
this,
with that, we actually paid the parents to come. The parents get a stipend for coming to that. And so that helps them as well. So
yeah, that's a big incentive when the parents find out that they to get to benefit from it. They definitely come in and they learn with their parents. In the first year when we started this, we had it just in one group, English and Spanish, but it tended to be very long. So in the subsequent years, we split them up by language so that they really get to be immersed and ask the questions that pertain to them in the language that they understand best, so either in English or in Spanish. And so that makes it really more engaging. And they are very grateful for that opportunity. And at the end of it all, they get to learn the knowledge to help them with passing the certification exam. And the mentors are going to speak a little bit to that, some of the things that they do to help them practice for their CNA certification.
if I could just jump in, one thing that really became apparent to us was explaining to the parents the importance of going to college even once you have your CNA certification. A lot of times the parents saw the hourly wage from the CNA position as terrific, and that could be the end, and it could be the end for these students. But we also had to show them in the financial literacy component what the benefit could be to becoming not just an RN, but a master's prepared RN, and the financial difference that could be had by going on and completing that education.
Thank you, Lori. So the they work very closely with their mentors, and I'll probably hand that over to the mentors to maybe speak a little bit about how they work with the students.
Yeah, so here in the College of Nursing, we have this really cool like skills area, skills lab area where we can practice our own skills. So that's where we took them to practice their CNA skills as well. Whether it was like checking blood pressures or doing, like an assessment on a patient or a dummy or whatever else we had for them. And they really, really enjoyed that, especially blood pressures. That was something that they were really nervous about, that skill, getting checked off on how to do a manual blood pressure. That was something that they were really, really, really scared about, and something that they really appreciated that we did with them, and kind of like ease their kind of anxiety about it. Because I feel like everyone that's like started off like as CNAs, nurses, that manual blood pressure is always something that scares everybody. So like having, someone that was close to their age and being like, okay, it's not that bad, like, just practice makes perfect, I think really like settled their nerves down like a lot.
So the giving shots wasn't so frightening, but taking a blood pressure was.
Yeah, the blood pressures ironically were way more
Way more
scary.
frightening.
More
Yeah,
technical than you
shots.
think.
It's a
shots
more,
that
yeah, I
were-
mean, it's a skill. It's a skill, no doubt.
Yeah, the shots, they were just like,
Yeah.
Fun to jab each other.
Yeah.
Another thing that the School of Nursing has is we have an empathy lab, and one of those assignments is to live with an assistive device for a day. And knowing how to properly use those is a very important skill for CNA safety. So we brought some of those into the skills lab too and showed the students the right way to use it and common mistakes people make. Because you can learn what a textbook says about using a device, but I think it's so much more like technical and physical, and like actually knowing the right way to do and to move your body is really important. So the kids found that really useful as well. We also have lunch with them, and during those times, I liked to figure out where they were and what they were doing in their classes and what that they were getting quizzed on for their CNA program. And if students had any questions or felt like there was weak areas, I liked them to bring it up to me so I could try to best explain to them stuff in a way that they'd understand. Because sometimes having multiple perspectives on a single question, I feel like is really helpful.
like for their CNA exam, we made like a Kahoot for them, and they found that really fun, because everyone loves Kahoot. So, and that really helped them too, like that, to see that the CNA test wasn't that bad either. It's not as scary as it seems.
So am I going to embarrass myself horribly when I ask what Kahoo is?
It's kind of like well, it's like a game, right? Where you have like four choices, and then the question is on the screen, like, oh, like what is a normal blood pressure? And then we have four options, and then you pick what correct option it is, and you're timed. You have like what, like 10 seconds or something like that. So you have to make like you have to be like on it. So
And
they
whoever
really
answers it first gets the most points. So it's a little
Yeah.
competitive, which makes it fun.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was just going to add that in addition to the mentors, so the students are assigned mentors, so they have probably by the four to a mentor. But in the past, one of the things the other mentors have done too to help them prep for the CNA exam is to create not just the Kahoot, but also create a group on WhatsApp and send messages to them and questions and have them respond. And so because they're always tech savvy, one information at the tip of their fingers is a lot easier than doing that through emails and other means. So having them text the answers back and they learn together all at once, that are also proven to be very successful. So part of the program also involves field trips. So they have two field trips. One is to Lake Forest Hospital, and from the images on your screen, this is from our team 25. They went to the simulation center at the hospital, and you see them practicing various skills. The mentors were there with them, so Alex and Isabella were there, as well as the nurses who volunteered their time to help them practice different skills. Obviously, some of the skills are not what they are doing in their CNA program, but it gives them an idea of what they would do in a hospital setting. And they break them up in groups. They go around to the different stations, they practice the skills. And the interesting thing is at the end of it, so you did the two pictures at the extremes, left and right on the screen, they actually get to save a dummy patient. And so they have to put into practice everything they've learned throughout that morning to save that patient. And then there's a kind of evaluation at the end of it. And you see them all very excited once they're done. They're usually very chatty on our way back to campus because they're all, everybody's saying what they did. It's a little different from their everyday CNA clinical, which is in long-term facility, because they are not 18, so they can't go to the hospital. But here, at least they have the opportunity to see what a real hospital environment looks like. And so they're very excited at the end of the day. It gives them a clearer picture of what nurses do, how they come together and work as a team. And so this particular field trip is really the highlight for most of them during the 2-month period they're with us. The second field trip takes them to Lake Forest College, so they get a sense of the college environment. We meet with an admissions counselor who talks about financing college and the opportunities that they have on their campus. And then they also get to have a question and answer session with the ambassadors, the student ambassadors. And so they have questions, and they can, they're more relatable to people who are in the process in the high school education. And it's not just and most of the ambassadors are not just American students. We have some, in the past, they've been students from other countries, from Africa, and from Europe. So they share their experiences too, and the reasons why they came to Lake Forest College. And after that, that kind of bell goes off, and they see it as a possibility that they can actually go here, because there's a lot of financing options that can help them pay for college. But we've also seen in the past, some of them say, it's too close to home. We prefer to go further away from home. They want to go to a bigger university. They feel Lake Forest College is too small. So it all depends on perspective, but it exposes them to the idea that they could actually be on this campus. So when we're done with the discussions and the question and answer sessions, they give us a tour of the campus. And so they see students actually in their day-to-day life on campus. And that really resonates with them. Alex, I know you were at Lake Forest College too, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think sharing your experience kind of gave them some kind of perspective as well.
Yeah, it was very nostalgic heading back to campus. It's always interesting to go back after a couple years, be like, oh, I sat there, I did homework here, I ate over there. I think it was really at least the students that were in my group that I talked to about like the college, like, oh, I went to this college. I was able to kind of explain how things were over there, how the environment was, like the resources, how helpful the financial aid office was. Because it's one thing to have like the presentation, there and oh, that sounds great, but here's someone who actually went through that process and what it's like, who he talked to, who helped him, that kind of thing. So that's something that they also really appreciated, having that insight, having that further insight into how the college is and how it operates, and just even though it's small, but how great it was still. So.
And at the end of the 2 months, we have a celebration. They come with their family. We invite the instructors, the high school counselors, our new advisory board members, stakeholders from RFU and the community as a whole, who have been part of their journey. And we have the beautiful reception for them. And the picture to my left is the team from 25. We'll make memories with them. I think what strikes me the most is the parents coming up, and they're very appreciative of the opportunity, having their students go through this, get a certification, and they are not paid for it. They don't pay for it, and then they get paid to attend the program as well, and all the connections that they make. I think they're really appreciative of that. They develop some friendships. We see that they've grown in terms of they are not the shy students that come in on day one. By this time, they are chatty. They made friends with students from other high schools. And one of the things I'm deliberate about is not making sure that in the classroom, they are not sitting next to someone from their high school. So they are forced to sit forced might be the right word, but they have to sit next to someone who is not from their high school that they don't know. So they get to chat and create those relationships. And that can go far beyond high school. The other thing too is for those who are in the CNA training, and for those, if we have the opportunity to have students who are already trained or have taken the course, they also get to serve as a sounding board for those who are still going through the program. So it's a good blend. We always try to have at least one or two who are already trained and probably have already passed the certification exam, and so they get to share their experiences with those who are still at CLC going through the program. So this is really a very interesting day. The students themselves are appreciative of the opportunity, and they're very grateful, and they do express that.
Well, and it's so sweet. Like the families bring them flowers. Some of them bring like their entire family, from little kids to grandmas. Like they come en masse, and it's fantastic. They're all so happy about it and so positive. So it's really just a heartwarming evening.
It's also a really important marker probably for success. I mean, when you have that many adults invested in your success, that is a wonderful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we want the parents to be a key part of this, because they get to support them while they're in the program, not just at the end, but see them, encourage them to study and make sure they pass their certification. We've been lucky in the last 2 years to have 100% pass rate. So that's one of the things we kind of promote when we have orientation. And then we do have orientation now, so we get to meet the parents and the students at the same time. And so we start putting some faces and names to the students and the parents. And so by the time we meet them after 2 months, they're really happy, and we encourage them to encourage their students to study and to make sure that they don't lag behind, because it's 2 months is very intense. And if they lag behind, then they really lag behind, and they're not going to make it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that having 100% pass rate is not good luck as much as good work and good skill.
Yes, it is. Their instructors have been really good. They actually, if they see a student struggling, they actually set up some special time to do Zoom sessions with them, have them stay a little bit after class and work with them. So, and when we start the process of selecting the students, we have the instructors as part of the process. So they already start, getting to know who the students are going to be in their class. So we make sure that everybody's involved, so that we really have input from Dr. Thuente, myself, Dr. Hop, and then one of the instructors, so that they know the instructor is going to be with them in class and in clinical. And so she really works with them, and they come to orientation as well to give the perspective about what the expectations are. So we really surround our arms around them to encourage them and make sure that ensure that they go through and they are successful. At the end of the program, we always like to hear what the impact is, what they feel about the program, what they think we can improve. And every year we try to tweak things based on what we hear from the class that is finishing. So these are just some of the comments from last year, and obviously some words that are highlighted. They talk about the opportunity, positive impact, they see their future. That's the whole point, knowing that they don't necessarily get these opportunities. And I even get emails sometimes saying, thank you for this opportunity. People from where I come, we don't get these opportunities, and especially something that is paid for. So they're really very thankful. They learn a lot of things. They are motivated. They want to pursue nursing. And we've been—
Or not. Sometimes they realize that they don't want to pursue nursing, and that's fine too, right?
Yeah,
Because you're not supposed to know.
Yeah, it is a gift when you find out what you don't want to do.
Right.
Yeah, some coming up and they already know what they want to do. I want to be a peds nurse. I want to be, they already know. And then some of them say, you know what, I'm not quite sure. I want to be in healthcare, but I'm not quite sure. We have one of our students from 23 who is at Lake Forest College, and she wants to be a physician assistant. We had a gentleman from last year who wants to be a physician. We have 2 students from 23 who want to pursue neuroscience. So, but this just gives them that opportunity to say, okay, there's a possibility out there, regardless of where you think you come from. There is, you can aspire to do more. So it is really that kind of a springboard into what is possible.
And working as a CNA is a great way to make extra money while you're pursuing whatever it is that you want to be pursuing. So the certification really does open some doors for them to some financial stability.
Yes, it does. And so we have our mentors again, a big part of this. So they get to do a focus group, and they also do a survey. And so these are the kind of the results that we put together, and we go through them, and we'll see kind of what we can do to improve, what worked, what didn't work, what we need to stop, what we need to improve on. And so it's just a good way to get feedback on the process. The overall, the feedback is positive, and we only hope that we can be able to continue doing this in the years to come.
All
Okay.
right, the Empathy Lab. So the Empathy Lab was, can we go to the next screen, Mosilda, since you're driving? Okay, so the Empathy Lab was created to help our students learn how to provide really patient-centered care. And they do that through understanding what it is like to have a patient diagnosis. So either through adaptive equipment or virtual reality, they really get to step into the shoes of a patient. And so through that, they hopefully can provide patient-centered care and really improve patient outcomes. And that in turn helps to increase resilience and decrease burnout, because when you provide care that's more patient-centered, the patient appreciates it more. They feel seen and heard. They're more likely to share important information with you, and you end up with better outcomes usually. So it works out really for everyone. We use the lab in a variety of different ways. Patient or empathy starts with self-empathy. It's a continuum from empathy to compassion. And so we start with self-empathy with the Inspire students. And we do that by teaching them how to help address some of their stress, some of their anxiety, things like that. We teach them breathing exercises. We teach them stress reduction, which also goes along with their lifestyle medicine education. And I take them on nature walks where they're not allowed to talk, but they have to find 5 things that they heard, 5 things they saw, 5 things they felt, and if they can, 5 things that they've touched. And so we'll go around the pond, and basically what I'm trying to do with the Inspire students is really kind of get them out of their heads. I think the current term is go touch grass. So so we try to do some of that. We do mindful meditation in the Empathy Lab, and we do that for our current students and our faculty. Mosilda likes to come to mindful meditation. Often the students fall asleep during it, but they learn how to kind of control their own emotions and help reduce some of their stress. So that's been a fun part of it. So here you can see, this was actually the day that Dr. Sousa came to the lab. These are some of the different things we simulate. So through virtual reality, we can demonstrate to people, because faculty and staff are coming through also, as are our community partners and clinical partners, that you can be a patient with Alzheimer's. You could be a patient who's socially isolated. You could be a veteran with PTSD. You could be a 77-year-old man who gets the news that his stage 4 lung cancer has no more treatment opportunities. So going through the dying process. And then through adaptive equipment, we can simulate what it is like to be in a wheelchair or on crutches. The bottom right-hand picture, this is simulating some of the symptoms of a stroke, some visual impairments, loss of use of your dominant side. This seems to be incredibly difficult for people. And we debrief all of these things. Oh, pregnancy, that's another fun one. So the backpacks. So this has been a terrific way for students to really get some hands-on experience and to understand a diagnosis more. It was great. I had the CMS students in all this week and last week, and they did workshops, and they're like, now I know, really can understand what glaucoma is, or, macular degeneration. I can read it in a book, but now it makes more sense to me and how limiting it really is. Alex, so our nursing students go through an empathy lab experience every single quarter, and it aligns with what they're learning in that quarter. It might be an adaptive equipment exercise. It might be virtual reality. Alex and Isabel just went through the geriatric one, right? Do you guys want to talk about that one for a second?
That one was very sad.
Mm-hmm.
So we went through, the simulation was that we were kind of looking at part of this family that was going through the process of having their father, I believe it was Alzheimer's or dementia or something like that, right?
No, that was the lung cancer.
Yeah. And so he was actively dying in the process of that. And we kind of saw the different stages and the different how things were progressing with the patient, but as well as with the family. As the declining was happening all the way to the end, and we were there as part of the family, I guess you could say, watching in when he unfortunately did pass. And so it was really very immersive. I will say the VR really helped. You really feel like you were in the moment. I think it was definitely a lot better than as if you were to watch it like in a video, like being like actually there, really like I really did tug at your heartstrings, and like, oh my gosh, like it was it was difficult, to get through it, but it was definitely like a very like rewarding experience, because it's like it's like we're empathetic people, right? But like it's another thing to really put that to the test and really experience that and see what that is and feel it. It's important to feel it. And I think definitely like going through this empathy lab, and not just this empathy lab, but all the other ones we've done, but just to really feel that empathy and really understand really helps a lot.
Yeah, for me personally, the one that impacted me the most was we had one that was specifically about Alzheimer's dementia. And it starts off with the early stages. And it's virtual reality too, so you're actively experiencing it. Like you feel lost. And then as it progresses, and for me, that impacted me like very much so because I have a family member that was just recently diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So it gave me a little bit of existential dread, but it really helped me understand what my loved one is going through. And I definitely cried a little bit after that one, but it helped me a lot, like understand what's happening and why it's happening.
Mhm. Yeah. So it's been terrific in terms of being able to share this now with the programs across the university as well as with faculty and staff. Student groups are starting to come through the lab for different experiences. And we have just really a variety of different ways for students, faculty, and staff to experience a diagnosis. And I'm always creating new things. Yesterday, I was creating a kyphosis vest where you're unable to stand up straight. And so that
It's not just
was
called a middle-age vest.
it's not,
Oh,
sadly.
okay.
But it's fun for me to be able to create some of these things too, and it's great to be able to do it in partnership with other faculty because they really can share some insights and give me some ideas as to how this can work a little bit better. So if you have any more questions about the Empathy Lab, please let me know. Yeah.
True.
So these are some of the quotes. We've just written a paper that we're submitting for publication. All of the students write a reflection when they're done. And there are three questions to the reflection. How did this make you feel? What surprised you? So, for example, in the Alzheimer's VR, you think that it's only memory, but what you don't realize is that there are auditory changes, there are visual changes that take place. So there are a lot of sometimes surprising things that come from being able to have this experience. And then the most important one is, how is this going to change your care? How are you going to be an empathetic provider? And I think that that's really starting to come through to students based on these reflections, and I love it.
That's great.
Yeah. You came through. How did you feel about it?
Oh, I thought it was awesome. And I didn't get to try everything, but one of the things that is straightforward and visceral, right, are the glasses that
Mhm.
change your vision. And like it's you can kind of know what tunnel vision is that comes from glaucoma or loss of central vision from macular degeneration, but it's a little bit different when you have glasses on that are kind of enforcing that. Um,
Mhm.
and the Alzheimer's one were not the memory issues, but the loss of sensorium because you can't hear things right and you can't see things right.
Mhm.
Because one of the big differential items for dementia, which is not dementia, is hearing loss
Mhm.
because the input's all wrong, so the output's all wrong. And so, yeah, anyway, I thought they were fascinating. They were great.
Yeah. Yeah. We found several of the med students decided that they no longer want twins after wearing the twins pregnancy backpack, which I can fully understand. Um, but it's been fun to kind of see the light bulbs go on for them as to what these experiences are really like.
All
Yep.
right. So we do have a question, and I want to encourage people to put questions in. And this is from Anonymous, but it's not a question, but a note of thanks as a staff member. I recently participated in an open house of sorts where we could go to the empathy lab to experience different conditions. It was a powerful experience. Having these opportunities for staff is so appreciated.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's great. So I have a couple of questions for Alex and Bella. So what motivated you guys to be mentors? You didn't have to do this.
I personally wanted to step out of my comfort zone. I'm a little bit of a shyer kind of person,
Yeah.
so being in a leadership position is something that was really new to me. And I
Mhm.
feel like it's helped a lot. It's helped me, one, learn my own study skills by helping the students learn to
Mhm.
study, but two, like finding myself and finding my own voice. I found it to be really helpful.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Alex?
I agree with Bella. Something that I've always really loved about my time here at the College of Nursing is that they truly see like every single one of us as a leader, even if you are someone that's very outspoken or someone that's like super soft-spoken like me or Bella, they
Mhm.
see like a leader in every single one of us. And so I think the Nursing Inspire opportunity was a really good way for me to kind of like, as Bella said, kind of like try to find your voice and also be like a mentor for these students from underrepresented backgrounds, something that's for me myself as well, like from an underrepresented background, and be a mentor to them, and show them like, oh, look where I'm at, like it's possible, you can do it too. Like, I saw myself in some of the students, like figuring it out, like unsure of what to do, dipping your toes in the water, knowing that you want to pursue higher education, but not really sure like how to go about it. And so like being that person, like, okay, like I was there where you were, look at where I'm at now. Like it's definitely possible, with the right help. And I really think like the Inspire program is like so important and really great because like it offers exposure. It's like one thing to see it in like movies like The Pit or something like that, but it's another thing to actually go in and practice those things and be like, oh wow, this is cool, or oh, maybe not so cool, maybe this is not for me, you know what I mean? So like
Mhm.
having that exposure is really great. Having the opportunity to take part of the CNA class too, like such great social mobility as well when you get education. So being part of something like Inspire, being a part of that process and like all of it is just like it seemed really great for me, and I really wanted to be a part of it. So I'm glad I got to be a part of it.
Yeah, that kind of sense of what education can do. Because in my family, the difference between being peasants and migrant farm workers and me is just education, right? So I wanted to ask you, so following on Alex's question a little bit, I want you to reflect back, Bella and Alex, to you at their age, right? And or at their place. And you know, what do you see in the program, or what did you have at that age that you see in the program? Just sort of like thinking about yourself in their shoes and what the program provides and what you experienced and how do you put that all together?
So when I was about these students' age, I was in a very similar position. I also did a CNA training program that wasn't as education focused. It was more just CNA skills, but it was also a paid program, and it made a huge difference because I knew that I wanted to do nursing, but I wasn't sure. I knew there was a lot of prerequisites and I wasn't necessarily ready. But for me, when I was that age, I just needed someone to give me a sense of confidence that I could do something difficult. And I feel really honored to be able to be there for these students and help motivate them and let them know that they can do hard things and they deserve to do these great things that they're capable of.
That's wonderful. Alex?
Yeah, for me, I wish I would have had something like Inspire to like and I like help me navigate that sphere. Because like I am first generation college student, so I didn't really have kind of like that, like what's it called, mentorship, and things like that where I could like look to or find out, well, what I could do, like whether it's like degree wise or like even financial aid. Like I just didn't really have that kind of like, you know, mentorship or help. So I really would have appreciated something like Inspire to really kind of guide me on the right path for that. So I'm really glad that, these students have access to something like that so that they're not so in the dark about it. Because it's definitely like a really scary thing, like trying to figure all that stuff out, like financial aid stuff and like just everything, it's like such a huge step to the next part of your life. So it would have been really nice to have something like that. So I'm glad that something like this exists for these students.
So what's next for the two of you?
Hopefully passing the NCLEX and then,
Mhm.
a job somewhere, um, work a couple years, maybe go back to school after those couple years to get, maybe like NP or like PhD or become a CRNA or something like that. Some continuing education would be good. But for now, just passing the NCLEX.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. That's my first goal. What's after graduation is pass the NCLEX and definitely finding a job and figuring out what specialty fits me the best, I think. And then hopefully, maybe in like 5 or 6 years' time, going back to school. I'd like to be an NP. That's my end goal, but what specialty, I'm not necessarily sure yet.
That's great. So, and thank you guys so much for stepping up, for your leadership, for the support you're giving the community, and the university by doing this.
Yeah,
And
they really are terrific students.
I'm figuring that's why you picked them for this, right? Yeah. So, Mosilda and Lori, one of the things that is important about this program is the funding part, right? Not only the programming, but the support for the students and the faculty. And a lot of that's Schreiber Foundation, as I recall, right? Can you talk
Yes, we're
about,
very grateful to them.
yeah, can you just talk about, the support that the Schreiber Family Foundation is, or Schreiber Philanthropy, I think is what they're called now, but what they've been doing and how they've helped us?
Matilda, do you want to take that? You've been a little more involved on that part.
Yes. So we've worked with student advancement, with Pam
Am I
and
the only one who lost audio, sort of?
Yeah, can you lean forward a little bit more, Matilda? For some reason your
okay.
volume's a little crazy.
All right. No, so I was saying we've worked with Pam Lowe and Sheila Blue in institutional development, and they introduced us to the Schreiber Philanthropy. They've been partners with us for the last 3 years, but late last year we learned that we're going to move in a different direction. So they've been really helpful and the funding has helped us do, have three successful sessions. So that with this incoming class, which will be the fourth year, is some of the residual from last year that we're using to cover the program. But it would be great if they could continue. But if we've learned that they want to move in a different direction. And so we are saddened that they might not partner with us anymore, but hopeful that we'll be able to get some new partners to help us continue this journey. It is needed, it is impactful, and if we had the funding, obviously we'll want to keep going.
So Anonymous says, thank you for all the hard work that goes into these important programs. And I don't know, maybe a little bit of a controversial question that just came up. You just mentioned briefly early on where, you were maybe happy that there are a few more males than in previous years. Can you talk a little bit about that? Well, I mean, I think it's an important thing for us, right? There is a whole hole in the educational world, right, where boys and young men are not entering education. They're in the way that, maybe they should, and they're not entering some of these sorts of programs. So I don't know. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about, I mean, one of the things is to be interested in that and trying to figure out how we encourage folks, everybody, to take advantages of the opportunity of programs like this in education in general.
Yeah, so when we start working with the student, the whole process, we start with the counselors. So the counselors know the students who are interested in the CNA program or in nursing or healthcare. So they are kind of our conduit into the high schools. And then we book a date, we go in and we speak to the students. So they talk to the student. And we get a lot of guys who come in, but some of them don't end up applying. And, the only way to be selected is if you apply.
Is to apply. That's so true.
So in the past 3 years, we've had, I think, 3 boys. And then this year we have 5 coming into the class that comes in June. So there's a switch somewhere. I'm not sure what, but we have 5.
It's probably one of those things where you start getting a few and then you get more, no doubt.
So nationally, men in nursing is about 8 to 10%. In our MENP program, it's about 25%. So I think that it becomes an attractive career for men as well as women, because nursing is amazing because it can be both a job and a career. So it can be a job when you just want to work your 3 shifts a week and go about your life. And it can be a career when you want to get more education and more leadership positions, et cetera. And you can do both of those in your lifetime with nursing. So it's become, I think, a more attractive career for a lot of people. So.
Well, I have one more question for each of you. Like, what are you, I think I know the answer for Bella and Alex, but I'll give you a shot at it anyway. But like, what's exciting you that's coming up as you're thinking about, I don't know, weeks, months ahead? What's exciting? Lori, I know you've got all kinds of work you're doing, so I'm going to start with you.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yes, I do have all sorts of new projects coming up, working with different student groups over the summer and different summer camp groups. I love having the little kids come in the lab. They think it's amazing. And then in the fall, we're starting to get more and more programs going through. So, and I get to create more, different diagnoses just through using different things. Nurses are amazing at MacGyvering things. And that's pretty much what I've done.
Yeah. Mosilda.
Well, I'm excited. Our 4th cohort starts in June, so I'm in the process of working out those last details, getting instructor contracts ready, working with CLC to make sure they have all their health requirements in. I just got an email this morning with an update on where the students are. So just working on the last details and getting everything tied up and ready to go for June when they come in.
And there are a lot of details. I think a lot of people don't understand just how many I's need to be crossed and T's need to be dotted as you're doing this. And when you do it that way, it doesn't work because the paperwork is unhappy when you mistreat your letters.
That's true, and especially since we don't have any control over what the paperwork at CLC entails. So
Yeah.
I get a lot of emails saying, my paperwork, is it complete or not? And I said, this is your contact.
Yep.
Reach
Yep.
out to this. But I
Yeah.
think we've worked with them for the past 3 years, and we've developed a real good relationship. So they keep me informed with where things are, and so I get to follow up with the students as well, the few who are lagging behind. But for the most part, they're almost there.
Yeah. So Bella and Alex, you guys get to bring us home here. Just something you're looking forward to. Could be a vacation. I don't care, but something you're looking forward to here as we head into the summer.
Oh yeah, definitely relaxing. We just wrapped up the quarter, so we get a week off. I'm definitely catching up on sleep, catching up on my shows, just relaxing. So yeah.
Is The Pit one of those shows you're going to catch up on?
I want to start it actually. I
You're
have
gonna
not
start it.
yet, but I want to start it. Yeah.
I finally finished Ted Lasso, which, what a great feel-good
So
experience.
good.
I know. Yeah. Bella?
So as Alex said, definitely relaxing.
Mhm.
We just finished up our finals, so a little bit of weight is off our shoulders. I'm very happy about that. But also I'm sure you expected the answer. Graduation is coming up, so I'm looking forward to seeing my family and friends fly in for the ceremony.
One of the great liberating pieces, or one of the most liberated times in modern life, is that space between finishing and starting the next thing, right? That little open space where nothing's really hanging over your head except for what's coming up. And well, congratulations on that for both of you, and enjoy your weeks. And so I want to thank Mosilda, Asanji, Lori, Tinti, Alex, Corneo, and Bella Tinsky for joining me on the panel today. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for the programming, and thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
And thanks to all of you for joining us today on the town hall. Thanks for all you do to support our faculty, our staff, and our students. It is the work of people like you that make the university such a special place to be. It is Friday. I hope you get to have a weekend. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.